G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dan and Spencer here again today. Today I wanted to talk to you about health, fitness and strength, not only while we're away travelling, but in life in general. Now, I've always done weightlifting. I'm a big fan of weightlifting. I've done it, I think, since my late teens, early 20s. When I was younger, I did it to sort of bulk up and gain strength to do what I do. But as I get older, I've realised that it's not just about looks. There's a lot of other important factors to weightlifting. Now, the big concern is, as I'm approaching retirement, Debbie and I plan to do a lot of trips away in this little motorhome, and we're limited with space and what we can take. Now, well, I've got a lovely little home gym in my garage that allows me to do hundreds of different exercises per muscle group. Naturally, I can't take anything like that with me while we're away. Now, I've seen a lot of different gadgets out there, from cable pullers and little treadmill little step machines and all sorts of other things. But I don't think you can go past a little set of dumbbells. And these are 8-kilo dumbbells. I've got a variety of dumbbells inside. But our last holiday, Deb and I just took these, we took them away with us, and we were able to work out basically every muscle group in our entire body using these little dumbbells. They fit under the lounge cushion and it's easy to get them out. And I've found that even when it's raining outside, I can still perform my little gym routine. It takes about half an hour, 40 minutes inside our motorhome. And I'll give you a demo of that in a minute. Now, there's various different forms of exercise, and there's a lot of people that love running, cycling, swimming, etc. I'm a massive fan of weightlifting. I always have been, and it's only that as I get older, I've done a lot of research, I've read a lot of forums, and it's my opinion that weightlifting is probably one of the best exercises to do as we get older. In fact, I read an article the other day, the 3 most important organs in the body. Number 1 was your heart. Naturally, you need your heart to pump your blood and oxygen around. 2 was the lungs, and 3, to my surprise, was the thighs. And when I saw this doctor explain it, he said, as we age, as we get older, 60s, 70s, 80s, and hopefully 90s, we need leg strength. As we get older, we want to be able to get up, move around, pick things up, carry the groceries in. And if you don't start doing resistance training when you're younger, by the time we're 70s, 80s, 90s, it's very hard to gain muscle strength. So in saying that, I'm a big fan of the weightlifting. There's a lot of points to it. It's not just about looks and strength. Just to give you an overview of the benefits of weight training, I've got 10 points that I've jotted down here. 1, weightlifting builds muscle and strength. As we do our weights, we slightly overload our muscle. And like I might have mentioned earlier, when it gets hard, when weightlifting starts getting hard, that's when you try and do 3 more repetitions. And that's when you're slowly tearing down the muscle, and on our rest days, that muscle's repairing itself and they come back slightly bigger and stronger. 2, weightlifting increases our metabolism, which helps us with fat loss and weight management. 3, weightlifting also improves our bone health. As we're lifting weights, we're putting stress on our bones. With our bones having a greater density, this fights off the chances of osteoporosis and weakness of bones, so that when we're older, if we have a fall or a spill, there's less chances of us having a fracture. 4, weightlifting also improves joint health. By doing our weights, it improves the strength of our ligaments and joints. I know in the past I've been using an electric drill, and I've been drilling around a corner, putting privacy screens in our deck, and I had really bad elbow pain, and I found that weightlifting actually helped it. I actually find I get little aches and pains when I don't do weightlifting. If I go for more than 2 or 3 weeks off, I get more little aches and pains from not doing weightlifting, and they seem to disappear when I do weightlifting. 5, weightlifting improves mental health. I think, like a lot of other sports, it's not just weightlifting, cycling, swimming, whatever you're doing, but weightlifting, I think, improves your mental state. Having done any sort of form of exercise, we always feel better afterwards than we did before. Even when you don't feel like doing exercise, forcing yourself to do it puts you in a better frame of mind afterwards. 6, weightlifting also improves posture. I always compare weightlifting to physiotherapy. Whether you're doing your bench press or your lat pull downs, you're using a full range of movement, and you're having a full stretch of your muscles. And particularly if you stretch after every exercise, if you stretch your chest after doing bench press, stretch your shoulders after doing shoulder press, your biceps, triceps, back, legs, whatever. If you have a stretch after every exercise and do a full range of movement when you're doing those exercises, it definitely improves your posture. Weightlifting also improves functional fitness and just general day-to-day things like carrying the shopping bags in, lifting any sort of heavy objects up, just any sort of manual task that you would do. As you get older, if you're not doing weightlifting, those tasks can become harder. Weightlifting also enhances cardiovascular health. Everyone's different, but when I do my weightlifting program, I generally don't have a lot of rest in between sets. In other words, you know, I'm doing the weights until I can't lift anymore and I'm out of breath, and I generally only just have enough rest that enables me to catch my breath and I do my next repetition. So it's, to me, my little weightlifting routine, and I think most people are the same, it is like a cardiovascular and a weightlifting program in one. 9, weightlifting promotes fat loss. As I mentioned before, you bulk up a little bit, and you don't need to be on steroids to bulk up. Just have a healthy diet, have enough rest, have enough sleep, and you will slightly increase in muscle mass. When you increase in muscle mass, as I said before, this increases your metabolism. You need more energy to maintain that frame, and that also aids in fat loss. And that's why I think I like weightlifting more than running or cycling or any other sort of aerobic exercises, because sometimes I think aerobic exercises makes you lose muscle mass, and therefore that, to me, can make your metabolism slow down slightly. There's arguments for and against. I won't go into it. That's just my opinion. Weightlifting also improves your balance and overall coordination. I think you're not neglecting any body part. Every body part's getting a full overall workout, and it keeps you in balance and in coordination. Okay, there's not a lot of room in here for the weights, let alone filming. But before I begin, my general rule is to work out the larger muscle groups first, being legs, then back, then chest, then shoulders, then arms. And sometimes I mix it up, but the reason why I do that is because you need more energy to work out your larger muscle groups like the legs than you do for, say, the smaller muscle groups like the triceps. Okay, so I know there's not a lot of room here. So my first exercise, as I said, is the larger muscle group, the legs. So I start off by having my feet shoulder width apart, hands on either side, and I look up. If you look up, that prevents you from leaning over too much. And I look up, that keeps the spine nice and straight. And I do 15 repetitions of squats. Now, I won't do 15 repetitions because in this video, because that'll be boring for you guys. So the first set, I usually do 15 repetitions with no weight, just my body weight, hands on the shoulders, and I continue to look up. And even now, I think I've done about 8 or 9. I can feel that burning now, and I'll do that. And then the second set, I'll grab one of my little weights, hold it in front of my chin, and still look up and do another 15 like this. And even though it's only a light weight, it does make a difference. So I'll do that. And if I found this too easy, which I'm not, I'll just slow down. I can feel that burning now. Okay, so that's squats. When I do squats, I'm not sure if you can see, but I make sure that my knees, I go down to at least 90 degrees, sorry, when I'm doing my squats. They're not very big legs, but they are getting stronger. Okay, so that is the squats done. I do that 4 times, 15 repetitions each time, with about a minute's rest in between, and naturally keep hydrating and have a drink of water while I'm going. Okay, so after I finish my squats, I go down to the lower legs and work on my calves. These are called calf raises. I utilise the little step that goes into the van, and start my first set with both legs together and just stretching my calves all the way up and all the way back down again. Once I've done one set of those, the second, third and fourth set, I do one-legged calf raises. A little bit more weight, but I'm thoroughly warmed up and ready to take it on. Once again, if it's too easy, I just slow down. I also use my little side bench as a bit of a stabilising thing, just having one arm resting on that so I don't tip over. Okay, my next exercise is push-ups. And I usually have my hands just over shoulder width apart. Not a lot of room in this van, but if you shuffle things around, you can do it. I just go down to the floor, touch my chest on the dumbbells with my legs straight, and I just go up and down again 15 times. I try and go slower on the way down. Push up and take about 3 seconds to lower. Push up, 3 seconds to lower. Push up, 3 seconds to lower. Push up, 3 seconds to lower. And once it gets hard, my general rule, as I may have mentioned before, is when it gets hard, I try and do 3 more. And sometimes with push-ups, if you can't do them on your toes, which I hope you can see from here, I'm doing them on my toes. If it gets hard, pop your knees down and do the push-ups on your knees. And it takes, I don't know, about 30% of the weight away. Once again, 4 sets, 15 repetitions, and a minute's rest in between. If you feel they're too easy, just lessen that rest time. If they're too hard, then increase that rest time. Okay, so that was bench press. Exercise is our back. And I'm only doing one exercise for the large muscle groups, which isn't a great deal, but it just, sort of, as I said before, I think it just keeps me in shape and keeps my strength up so that when I do return home, I haven't lost a lot of strength or fitness. So this one again is just bent over rows, they call it. I stick my bum out, grab my little weight in the middle of, right in the middle of my legs. I actually support myself on the bench here, and I'll just go up, arch my back, and squeeze my shoulder blades together, and down again. And I'll do that 15 times. To be honest, 8 kilograms for me in this particular one is a bit light, and I'm probably being a bit naughty here, but to prevent myself having to bring another set of dumbbells along, I stack these. I grab them and I tilt them out so that my wrist supports them, and once again I just upright row them, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down slowly. And yes, as I said, 10 to 15 times with a minute's rest in between. And by the time you've done 4 sets, even though this is only a fairly light weight, by the time you've done 4 sets, this ceiling isn't, I don't know, it's about just over 7 foot. So I can't fully extend my arms with the roof down. So that's where I use my little folding step. And I'll sit down on here and I'll grab my 2 dumbbells and I'll just make sure I'm clearing all the cupboards and just push them up, touch them at the top and back down slowly. I usually just touch my shoulders. And as always, you know the golden rule, 15 times with a minute's rest in between, or just when you catch your breath, and do 4 sets of this. 4 sets of 15 with a minute's rest. As always, if it's too easy, slow them right down. If it's too hard, you can speed them up, but I wouldn't speed them up too much. If it's too hard, just don't do any more than 10 reps. Okay, so that was shoulders. Do 4 sets, 1 minute's rest, and then they're done. Okay, now we're going to move on to triceps. Okay, triceps. This is what I do. There's so many different exercises you can do for each muscle group, but these are the main ones that I stick to, the main ones that I find easy and simple to do, especially in the confines of your little motorhome. So very similar to bench press, except I put the dumbbells together. I actually tilt them a little bit this way. I think it's a bit better on the wrist. And I'd rather do this than have my hands flat on the ground. Hurts my wrists doing that. But if I use the dumbbells as little handles, I go down and I just touch my chest onto the dumbbells and push up slowly. And I have my elbows running down beside my chest. And I try and do these 15 times. This one is one of those exercises that's quite hard. And when it gets too hard, I put my knees on the ground and I continue and do the last few on my knees. Oh, geez, I'm actually working up a sweat just showing you this. And I think with triceps, it's okay not to do 15. I get to about 10 or 12 and my triceps are cactus. Okay. Now the lucky last exercise is the good old biceps. And as I said, there's a few different ways you can do these exercises. But I like these things called hammer curls. And I do these hammer curls. The way you'd hold a hammer and you're hitting a big nail into a big bit of timber. And once again, you know the drill, 15 times, a minute's rest, and then do it all again. If you don't like hammer curls, you can change them to regular dumbbell curls. And I'm feeling that already. Pushka, yeah. Oh. Okay, so as you can see, I've worked up a sweat. But that was basically 7 exercises to cover the whole body. We had squats for legs, calf raises for calves. We did push-ups for bench press or chest. We did side rows for back. we did shoulder presses for shoulders, and we did close grip push-ups for triceps and curls for biceps. So that's a pretty good overall workout. And as I said before, that keeps my strength up so that when I do return home and go back to my little home gym again, I haven't lost very much strength at all. In fact, when I went back this time, the last time, I barely lost any, if any at all. So that was really good. Whereas even on a 2 or 3 week holiday, I'll come back and it's a noticeable difference. And it'll take me 1 to 2 weeks to get back to the strength that I was before I left. Now, resistance training. You know, I think it's great to be active and outdoors and everything. But some of the research that I've done, I think resistance training is very good, especially as you get older. People think, oh, you do it to look good, to get muscles, get leaner, and that's just a side effect. As well as that, for me, it's helped keep my cholesterol down, my blood pressure down, or my sugar levels are good. I think because I'm exercising, it makes you want to eat better as well. So it goes hand in hand with a good diet. I very rarely do fast foods. I'll still have the occasional chocky and whatnot, but I'll eat a lot healthier, a bit more protein. I think weights also, I've got full range of movement. I'm hitting 60 in another 18 months or so, but I've got full range of movement, no frozen shoulders. I can touch my hands behind my back. Flexibility is good, and I think doing weights, no matter which weight exercise you're doing, keeps your flexibility up, especially at the end of it all. And I didn't touch on this before, if you stretch after every muscle group's exercise. I think as you get older, you lose flexibility, you lose your strength, and especially your legs. They say when you're in your 70s, 80s and 90s, if you haven't been doing regular strengthening exercise, you lose your muscle mass. And when you lose your muscle mass, and particularly in your legs, but upper body's important too, it makes it harder for you to get around, harder for you to sit up out of seats and lift things up and walk around. If you do have a fall, it's good that you've done resistance training because your bone density is higher and you've got less chance of breaking anything. So I'm a big fan of resistance training or weight training. Again, I'm no bodybuilder or anything, but it definitely has made me a fitter, stronger and leaner version of what I was 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 years ago and onwards. A combination of a good exercise program, a good diet, and plenty of rest will end up seeing that you become a fitter, healthier, and stronger version of yourself, which is all that you need to do. Whether you're looking to build strength or improve your health or simply feel more confident, weight training is a powerful tool that anyone or everyone can benefit from. Well, if you like this video, please click the like button. It means a lot to me and it makes the channel go well. Also consider subscribing, liking and sharing. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you when I can. Alright, thanks again for watching and happy healthy holidays.